So we finally got our little tree in the house. And there's a little story behind how we got the little tree. It's just a couple days before Christmas, but we wanted to share it with you. So as we're decorating, we'll tell you about it. But before we get started, I know this is an unusual thing, but last week we did the little garlands, and the rest of my decorations, or a whole lot of my decorations, is coming from this thing. And I had one of our viewers ask what this contraption was. So I have like 3 of these, and I've got them from, I think I got this one from Goodwill for $5. I got one from a yard sale for $3, and it just so happens that these come pretty cheap. And whenever I see one, I grab it, either to share it with a friend or use them myself. But when you're in the middle of harvest season, it's good to have 2 or 3 of these going. I just don't have a good place to put them yet, and I'm praying about where that might be. But this is a Nesco American Harvest food dryer and jerky maker. So it dries all kinds of food and fruit and jerky and meat. And I also saw from another lady that I follow that it will dry eggs too. And you just have to get the right kind of liner. See you can see this one's old. It's got cracks in it, but see, it's got all these holes in it, so you can't put anything liquid in here. And it comes with a I've got a couple of the plastic like liners, but the little lips on those are not quite high enough to do eggs. So I am going to spend a whole lot more money for the liners than I did any of these dryers, just so I can do eggs. It's just one of the things that I want to do, because I will do not think I will ever invest in a freeze dryer. They're just too expensive, a lot of hype. I just don't think they're worth the money, especially when one of the only things that they can do different from this is eggs. They just do it better. So I will be using this, and I can't wait to get those trays so I can try that. But the chickens aren't laying right now, so that's okay. But what's inside of here is my Christmas decorations. And these were the small little grapefruits. We thought they were a special kind of orange, but they're grapefruits. And we have the oranges and just a different variety in there, some of the little pieces. So we're going to put little strings on these and put these on the tree. But I wanted to explain what this was. These are very, very common. You can get them for just about anywhere. If you buy them from a yard sale and they're $10, that's too much. We dry on a really low temperature over here, and when you plug it in, it does not have it on and off. It just, when you plug it in, it comes on. So just a very handy little appliance that if you're a homesteader or grow any kind of herbs or garden, this is just a nice thing to have. Well, you can't see it very good, but I got some little lights on and candles. Not as many as was in the sky the night Jesus was born, but that's what they represent to me. Here they come. They have found them a treat. Blueberry, she's waiting her turn. There's just too many in her way. They'll get tired of it and they'll leave. And later on in the day, they'll come back. Oh, see, once Muffy is the leader, and once she goes, everybody has to go. And all she's doing is going over there and checking for sweet potatoes. As long as she's not out of sight, the rest of them won't go. So we just had some of our boys drive up, and while I'm making my little decorations, I thought I'd tell you the little story about the trees. Well, last week, or the week before last, really, I don't know if you have these in your community, but in our community, we're in Davie County, but they have Yadkin County in the know, or what's happening in your neighborhoods. And it started in the neighboring county of Yadkin County. And somebody went to a Food Lion, and Food Lion had put their trees on sale for $10. So this business bought all the trees at this Food Lion and left them at the Food Lion and told Food Lion to give them out to people who can't afford trees. And I thought that was just a wonderful gesture, and I want you to know that people really needed their Christmas trees. They just have had it hard this year and couldn't afford Christmas trees because, you know, I haven't bought a Christmas tree in years and years and years and years. I didn't realize they were $50 and $100. So that started a chain reaction. It didn't just stay in Yadkin County. It went to other neighboring counties, and other small businesses started doing the same thing. And somebody would go in and buy trees, and I think one person even bought eggs so that people could cook for the holiday. And oops, dropped that one off. Anyway, so normally we just don't have a tree, and that's fine. Christmas isn't about the tree. The tree is just beautiful, and it smells wonderful, and a lot of people don't like trees, but guess what? I have plants all in my house during the wintertime, and I'll start all my plants in the house too. They might even be trees. Oh, isn't that horrible? Anyway, but I think they did that like 4 or 5 times to all the Lowe's, not Lowe's, but all the food lines around. And then on the same little neighbors tab on Facebook, they would say, oh, you know, all these are gone, but here, this one in Jonesville or somewhere, they have 15 more trees left, just to let people know. And that's just how neighbors work. They want the best for each other. And thank you. If anybody of any of those businesses are listening, we sure do appreciate it. Well, last year, my daughter and my grandson went to Home Depot for their after Christmas sale. You know how everything's 75% off. And they had a sign on their trees for free. But it was after Christmas, but they were for your animals. So for my one shopping trip that I take, the kids and I decided to go to Home Depot, even though it was before Christmas, and ask them if their trees was on sale. And the manager came and he said, well, do you have animals? And she says, yeah. And he said, well, what kind? And she said, I have goats and chickens and cows. And he said, well, are you going to feed them to your cows? And she said, oh, yeah, well, we're going to feed them to our goats. But she said, oh, yeah, we're going to feed them. He said, so he told a young man, get her 2 trees. So they loaded me up that tree that you saw earlier and the other tree that you saw the goats eating. And they are absolutely going to be special treats for the goats. And we are so thankful to Home Depot for doing that. And it is, you know, can we afford a tree? No? That's okay. We don't have to have the tree. Or a lot of times we just go out into the forest and cut one down, especially on a good place is where they're doing the power lines, because they're going to kill those trees anyway. But anyway, sometimes we just don't have time or whatever, and we were out shopping and thought about that, and so we went and got a tree. So that is the tree you see me decorating. And yes, we have a late Christmas around here, and that is so everybody can be involved. I'm just real big on that, not leaving anybody out. It doesn't have to just be on that day. It can be any day, because we celebrate the Lord's birth way more than just on December 25th. So, this tree is going to be up in my home mid-January, when the days are getting brighter. Isn't that wonderful? And we are going to enjoy that smell. We're going to enjoy the smell of these oranges and all the... I don't have very many natural things that I put on there, but this is the first time I've done this. And this is the way I want to do it from now on. But that is the little story about our neighborhood and our county and the Christmas trees. And really, we've never had anybody, when we ask them, we'll look at a Christmas tree, we'll find one during the middle of the year, and we've never had anyone tell us no going and cutting down a tree off their property. So that's the other way that you can get a free Christmas tree. So like I said, it's not about the tree at all, but you know what that did? That enabled someone to be a blessing to someone else. Are they going to be blessed because they were a blessing? Oh yeah, they sure are. You can't outgive God. Doesn't matter how hard you try. He is always going to outgive you. That's not the reason you give. It's always really something I forget. And it just happens when you're a blessing. Whether you believe in Him or not, He's going to bless you. So I just wanted to give you that little bit of frugal information, so the holidays don't have to be so hard and so expensive. So we got a free tree, we got some free old oranges here, so none of that cost us anything. And it's all about the celebration of Christ instead of all these things anyway. But we just like to... I get tired of looking at the same old stuff. I don't move my furniture around like a lot of people. So during the Christmas season, it's just a little bit something else that we can kind of move things around and make it twinkly and bright as the days are getting longer and more beautiful outside. So there you have it. And when I get all these hung on the tree, I'll show it to you. I never realized how these look like a stained glass window. My little camera going to focus? Not too good.